Coming up on Hoosier Sports Night, IU basketball shines in front of electric crowds.
And IU wrestling goes for another ranked win. This is Hoosier Sports Night.
Hello and welcome to the season 25 premiere of Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Andy Manzur.
And I'm Kennedy Rehklau.
25 seasons of this show, Kennedy. Can you believe it?
I can't. That's older than me.
Impressive. So let's get straight to it. After securing a top 10 matchup spot, then number 9 Maryland last Thursday, Indiana women's basketball went on to add to their 16th win of the season after beating the Wisconsin Badgers on Sunday. Our Audrey Hausberger has the recap.
Freshman guard Yarden Garzone set the stage early in the first quarter for Indiana women's basketball's Sunday afternoon matchup against Wisconsin. The freshman from Israel would score 7 points in under 2 minutes. Her reasoning for starting off so hot?
My mom is here. Being out in my games like almost all the time. Just confident, my dad, my mom, my sister, my brother. So it's been a lot for me.
Garzone would finish with 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. She was backed up by senior forward Mackenzie Holmes, who dominated the boards and led with 29 points.
I said it, and I've said it since she's been here. She's kind of she's just a throwback post player that we don't see often. And, she has a way of still being able to, get her shot off, with creating some contact, a lot of times finishing those plays. She's very difficult, I think, for other opposing teams if they don't bring a double and you're a single coverage for her. She's kind of slippery.
The Hoosiers' early efforts provided enough of a cushion for some of those younger and less experienced players to enter the game after halftime, but even in front of the second largest crowd recorded ever in program history, players like Lexis Bardesser, Henna Sandvik, and Lily Meister didn't even bat an eye.
It's nice to see like a kid like Lily Meister, who's just come on against Maryland. I thought she was great. The minutes she played today, again, another fantastic performance coming off the bench and, giving Mac a break. And so, Lexi's going to continue and Henna, they're just going to continue to keep getting better.
The final score of 93-56 against the Badgers promotes IU to a 16-1 start to the season and ties Terry Morin for winningest head coach in program history with 188 wins, a title she is humble about.
I've yet to make an assist or a layup or a free throw or get a big block, and a steal. It always comes down to those players that are playing inside the lines for you.
From Assembly Hall, I'm Audrey Hausberger for IUS TV Sports.
Terry Morin's squad then traveled to Illinois last night for their second game of the season against the number 21st ranked Illini. The Cream and Crimson got the win against Illinois, improving their record to 17-1 on the season. The Hoosiers are on the road next Monday for a date with the 17th ranked Michigan Wolverines.
After dropping their last 3 games, Indiana men's basketball returned home, trying to stop the skid against Wisconsin. Our Hank Joseph has the latest from Assembly Hall.
Indiana men's basketball picked up a bounce-back win over Wisconsin 63-45 after a 3-game skid that saw the Hoosiers drop to 13th in the Big Ten rankings.
And I thought our guys answered the bell tonight. I mean, our backs were somewhat against the wall, and, losing 3 in a row is not fun for anybody.
When we're in our right spots and we do the defense right, and which we've been preaching this whole time is nail slot rim, and you're in your spot, in to get out, it's a lot different. That's what you saw today. So,
Indiana's defense returned to form from a season ago, holding the Badgers to just 32% shooting from the field and 21% from behind the arc.
And it was a nice carryover today. We played Indiana defense the way I think we should be playing.
Defense was the big story this afternoon. It was the second half from the Hoosiers, outscoring Wisconsin 42-25, alongside Jordan Geronimo's first double-double of the season.
I just play without worrying about, or I guess I'm being subbed out or I miss a shot, dang, take it to the next play with me. I'm just, have a short memory, play hard, play physical.
Geronimo started for us, so, I thought he played so within himself tonight, it wasn't even funny. He did a lot of good things defensively. He rebounded the ball. He finished around the rim. And we're going to need that.
Jackson Davis noted that Geronimo has shown he can compete at a high level.
Telling him that it's going to take a little bit of time. He's not used to being in the position that he's in. He kind of got thrown into the fire a little bit. But obviously I know he's very capable of doing big things for our team because last year in the Big Ten tournament he was our second and third best player.
Next up for the Hoosiers is a trip to Champaign to face off against the University of Illinois, who currently sit at 6th in the Big Ten. Hank Joseph, IUS TV Sports.
While the Hoosiers averted the panic button for the time being, another tough road test awaits at Illinois tonight. Follow along with Hank, Evan Kamiko, Josh Bodie for live updates from Champaign.
Indiana football makes their first big transfer portal splash of the offseason with the addition of Tennessee transfer quarterback Taven Jackson. Jackson, the younger brother of Indiana basketball center Trace Jackson Davis, is a 4-star recruit and was highly touted by Tom Allen before committing to the Vols. Although he dealt with an injury for most of the 2022 season, Jackson only saw action in 3 games in his limited playing time. Jackson completed 3 passes for 22 yards, rushed 4 times for 10 yards, and a touchdown. Jackson joins the Indiana QB room of recent Oregon State transfer Brendan Sorsby, Brock Lowry, and the injured Dexter Williams. From the buzz around campus, Hoosier fans are looking forward to seeing what Taven can bring to the field this September.
The Indiana swim and dive team celebrated senior night this past weekend by competing against a fellow Big Ten powerhouse, the Michigan Wolverines. The number 7 ranked men's team continues the defense of their Big Ten title, with senior Brendan Burns sweeping the backstroke events. On the diving side, the Hoosiers also took each of the top 5 spots in the men's 3-meter dive. For the women, the sister duo of Anna and Noelle Peplowski won a total of 4 events. Women's diving also excelled, with junior Ann Fowler winning both the 1 and 3-meter dive. The men won by a blazing score of 212 to 88, while the women defeated the Wolverines for the first time since 2012 by a 117-point margin. Next up is rivalry week for Indiana as they travel to West Lafayette on Saturday to continue their 11-year undefeated streak against the Purdue Boilermakers.
The 17th ranked Indiana wrestling program took on the number 16 program in Rutgers last Friday. Our own Griffin Healy has the latest from Wilkerson Hall.
Number 17 ranked Indiana Wrestling competed against number 16 Rutgers last Friday at Wilkinson Hall. Indiana had a tough start to the meet, losing the first 3 matches. The Hoosiers would start to gain momentum in the match at the 149-pound class when Graham Rooks won. Derek Gilcher would later win the 157-pound class, and Nick South would pin his opponent at the 165. The 165-pound class match would set the tone for the rest of the night for the Hoosiers.
Honestly, just kind of figured the kid out throughout the match. Started going from losing the hand fight to winning the hand fight, and as soon as that third period started, I could just feel that he was kind of out of it. So our training kind of kicked in where we've been working on our conditioning. We eat really good after we weigh in, so we're feeling good, our bodies are fueled, and we're ready to compete for 7 minutes or as long as it takes. So I think just that kind of X factor of us taking care of the little things really kicked in, and I was able to apply the pressure and take him down straight to his back.
This matchup was about building momentum. For the first time since November 29th, 2008, Indiana defeated Rutgers 24-16.
It just shows the country that we're here. We are here. We can compete with the best. I think, people probably thought we got a fluke win at Maryland, maybe a fluke win against Princeton. But now it's like your 3rd-ranked win against a really good team. It's like, oh, they're serious. They're a serious program, and they're really building something over there. And that's the momentum we need. We need that for big recruits. We need that for our guys, the confidence. I think, our best wrestling is still ahead of us, and it's good to see where we're at right now.
The Hoosiers will be back at Wilkinson Hall this Friday at 7 against Minnesota.
The Hoosiers dropped from number 17 to 18 in the Flow Wrestling poll, but moved up to the number 21 spot in the NWCA coaches poll. They'll host Minnesota tomorrow at 6 p.m. Be sure to follow Griffin Healy and Adam Oppenheim for all IU wrestling updates.
Coming up after the break, we crown the Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week.
And we recap an exciting weekend on the tennis courts. You're watching Hoosier Sports Night.
Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Night.
Joining us in the studio for this week's Hoosier Highlight is IUS TV reporter Kylee Corman. Kylee?
Thanks, Andy and Kennedy. Our Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week is Indiana Wrestling's Jacob Bullock. This senior in his third year at Indiana University is having quite an impressive season. However, it took some time for him to get where he is now. In his first year at Indiana, he finished the season at 1-3 and last year was only 11-11. Bullock has figured it out this year and is now currently 14-2. He started the season 0-1 but quickly turned it around and had a 12-0 run following that first loss. In late December, Bullock was named the Big Ten Wrestler of the Week, the first time an Indiana wrestler has received that title since February of 2021. Bullock has multiple wins against top-ranked opponents so far this season, and as of yesterday, Bullock himself is currently ranked 24th according to Flow Wrestling. That's all for the Hoosier Highlight this week. Kennedy, back to you.
The Indiana track and field team went down to Tennessee for the Commodore Challenge at Vanderbilt University. Mahogany Jenkins placed first in the triple jump and second in the high jump. Her performance earned her a top 10 spot in the conference for both events. The mid-distance duo of Jake Gebhardt and Keelan Grant took the 1 and 2 spots for the 800-meter event, as well as the current Big Ten standings. Gebhardt finished the weekend with another first-place finish by running a sub-4-minute mile and finding himself second in the conference.
I'm not going to lie that I was on cloud 9 and right after the meet, and I was like, man, I just accomplished one of the biggest goals I've ever set for myself. So now it's bringing it in, realizing that I'm fully capable of what I've accomplished, and now it's time to rewrite the goals and look forward into what I can accomplish on a bigger stage or a bigger level for myself, and just, keep looking to push forward and be a better athlete all around.
The Commodore Challenge led to 42 top 10 finishes in the conference for individual events as the Hoosiers prep for the Gladstein Invitational in Bloomington tomorrow.
The Indiana men's tennis team opened their season last Sunday with a doubleheader against Dayton and Toledo. Our men's tennis reporter Zeke Shapiro has more.
Indiana men's tennis got off to a perfect start to their 2023 season, winning 2 matches in one day on Sunday here at the IU Tennis Center. In the first match against Dayton, the Hoosiers cruised to a 4-1 victory and then followed that up later in the day with a 4-2 win over Toledo.
Yeah, I thought the doubles got a lot better as the day went on. The first matches they were tight. Could have kind of went either way, and it was great that one doubles we were able to fight back and make it a tiebreaker.
Freshman Ikanj Kumar and Sam Landau both dominated, winning all of their matches.
I think the expectation was to win both matches. Doubleheader, it's a long day. Getting a little tired at the end, but we were able to come through and do our job.
Yeah, for me it was just making sure I didn't succumb to the nerves, just finding a way through. Just really wanted to, I was just excited,
Junior Ilya Tiraspolsky also had a great day, finishing his day up with a dominant 6-3, 6-0 match to close out what was a great doubleheader for him. The Hoosiers will next travel to number 25 ranked Middle Tennessee State in Murfreesboro next Friday. For IUS TV Sports, I'm Zeke Shapiro.
Be sure to follow Ben Polonsky, Kylee Corman, and Zeke Shapiro for all IU men's tennis updates as the team travels to Middle Tennessee this weekend.
The women's tennis season began this past Sunday as the Hoosiers took on Butler and Bellarmine. IUS TV Sports reporters Dylan Traeger and Sam Brunsman have more on the team's start to the season.
The Indiana women's tennis team opened their spring season with a doubleheader Monday. taking on Butler in the morning and Bellarmine in the afternoon. In the Butler match, Indiana had a clean sweep, winning 4-0, and they continued that sweep as they took on Bellarmine, beating Bellarmine 4-0. Here's a live take from head coach Ramiro with what he has to say about the Hoosiers.
I was very pleased that everybody, obviously, we stay healthy and there were no injuries or things like that. But I think everybody was, needed to get some matches under the belt, and I think we did. We accomplished what we wanted. From here on out, every match is going to keep getting tougher every week. So we're excited about the opportunity, and we just wanted to kind of get us the season going and start and see how we were going from here.
And those opportunities will continue to come for this Indiana team as the Cincinnati Bearcats come to town next Sunday.
Last year we lost in a very close 4-3 match to Cincinnati, something that, I felt like we were actually a little bit better, the better team. So I call it unfinished business. We're just trying to get ready. I think we're excited for the opportunity to be able to play them here at home.
The Hoosiers' next matchup is this Sunday versus Cincinnati at 3 in Bloomington. From the IU Tennis Center, I'm Sam Brunson with Dylan Traeger, IUS TV.
The Hoosiers continue their home stand against Cincinnati this weekend as they look to continue the momentum from Sunday.
Wrapping up the show this week is IUS TV sports reporter Joe Cronin with the Candy Stripe Calendar Report. Joe?
Thanks, Andy. With students back in Bloomington, it also means that sports are back too. It's a busy weekend for Hoosier athletics that starts tonight when the men's basketball team looks to build momentum in the Big Ten as Mike Woodson leads his squad to Champaign, Illinois to take on the Fighting Illini. Friday begins the women's water polo California road trip as they take on the UCLA Bruins. Continuing through Friday's slate, the Indiana wrestling team looks to secure its 4th-ranked win of the season as they host the Golden Gophers of Minnesota at Wilkinson Hall. Men's tennis takes a trip down south to battle it out with Middle Tennessee, and Friday is capped off by the track and field team competing at the Gladstein Invitational. On Saturday morning, the men's and women's swim and dive team travel to West Lafayette to take on the dreaded Boilermakers of Purdue University. Saturday also continues the women's water polo excursion as the Hoosiers have a morning match against UC San Diego and take on UC Santa Barbara in the afternoon at the USCB Winter Invite. Sunday Fun Day continues the chaos in the Hoosier sporting world with the final clash for the women's water polo team taking on Cal State Fullerton. The party never ends as Trace Jackson Davis and company have a tough desk when the Tom Izzo-led Michigan State Spartans march down from East Lansing, Michigan. Indiana women's tennis looks to start the season perfect at a 3-0 record as they host the Cincinnati Bearcats. And finally on Sunday, to cap off a hectic couple of days, the number 6 ranked Indiana women's basketball team has a big one up in Ann Arbor, Michigan against the number 14 ranked Wolverines. Mackenzie Holmes continues to make a push to be the Big Ten Player of the Year. That's going to wrap up this week's Candy Stripe Calendar. Andy, Kennedy, back to you.
Thanks, Joe, and that'll do it for our Season 25 premiere. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at IUS TV Sports to keep up with all the latest in IU athletics. For our production crew behind us, I'm Kennedy Rehklau.
And I'm Andy Manzur, and we'll see you next week.